Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare wheat pennies. These classic coins hold an incredible history, and some are worth millions. So today, we are gonna uncover the rarest varieties, their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video.
Top 1 today, we're stepping back into the Great Depression era to talk about a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors for nearly a century, the United States of America Wheat Penny from 1935. At first glance, it may look like just an old copper cent, but listen carefully, because this little penny has stories of rarity, errors, and incredible value that every collector should know. The 1935 Wheat Penny belongs to the beloved Lincoln cent series, first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. On the obverse side, we see the classic portrait of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that has now become iconic across American coinage. On the reverse side are two stalks of wheat, framing the words 1 cent, which is why collectors call it the wheat penny. This simple yet powerful design reflects the strength and endurance of the American people during one of the toughest times in history. Now 1935 was no ordinary year. The United States was still in the grips of the Great Depression. Jobs were scarce and money was tight. Every single penny mattered to American families, which means that these coins saw heavy circulation. People used them daily and very few were carefully saved. Because of this, finding a 1935 wheat penny today in pristine, uncirculated condition is far rarer than you might think. Collectors know that condition is everything. A worn 1935 penny might only be worth a few cents or a couple of dollars, but a coin that has survived with sharp details, original mint luster, and no signs of heavy wear becomes a real prize. Professional grading services often label such coins with high mint state grades, and those examples are what bring the most excitement in the coin collecting world. But that's not the only reason this coin can be valuable. Error varieties play a huge role. The 1930s were a period when minting technology wasn't as precise as it is today, which means mistakes happen more often. Collectors search for double die errors on the date or lettering, off-center strikes where the design is shifted, or even repunched mint marks on coins from the Denver and San Francisco mints. These errors may look like flaws to the untrained eye, but to coin lovers, they're one-of-a-kind treasures that dramatically increase a penny's value. Another fascinating part of the 1935 wheat penny story is the history it represents. Holding one is like holding a piece of the Great Depression in your hand. Imagine the journey this coin could have taken, perhaps used to buy bread, candy, or a newspaper in a time when every cent counted. Coins like these aren't just money, they are storytellers, and that historical connection makes them even more desirable for collectors. Now we arrive at the part you've been waiting for, the value. While many 1935 wheat pennies are common and worth only modest amounts, if you are lucky enough to own one in flawless, uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a rare and dramatic minting error, its value could reach an astonishing $83,000. Yes, you heard that right, $83,000 for a single penny that most people would walk right past without a second thought. Just imagine finding one of these gems tucked away in a collection or handed down from a family member. It would be like discovering a fortune in the smallest of forms. So the next time you come across an old wheat penny, don't overlook it. Take a closer look at the details, check the condition, and always keep an eye out for errors. That little coin could be worth far more than its face value. Top 2, we're traveling back to the late 1930s to explore one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the United States of America Wheat Penny from 1939. At first glance, it may look like just another old cent, but listen carefully, because this coin carries history, hidden rarity, and in some cases, incredible value that can amaze even seasoned collectors. The 1939 Wheat Penny belongs to the iconic Lincoln cent series, a series that has been in circulation for over a century. On the obverse side, we see Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This portrait had already been part of American coinage since 1909, but by 1939 it had become a symbol of endurance and leadership. On the reverse side, we find the classic two wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent, a simple design that speaks to the agricultural roots and resilience of America during difficult times. The year 1939 was no ordinary time in history. America was still recovering from the Great Depression, and the world was on the brink of World War II. Money was tight and every single cent mattered to families trying to make ends meet. That's why the majority of 1939 pennies circulated heavily. They were used daily, passed from hand to hand, and very few were carefully saved in mint condition. Because of this, finding a 1939 wheat penny today in pristine, uncirculated quality is a real challenge. Collectors know that condition is key. A worn 1939 penny might only fetch a few cents, but a coin with sharp details, original red luster, and no signs of wear becomes something truly special. Professional grading services often certify these rare survivors with high mint state grades, and those examples command serious attention in the marketplace. But condition isn't the only factor. Error varieties make this coin even more exciting. In the late 1930s, minting technology wasn't as perfect as it is today, which means mistakes happened. Collectors hunt for double die errors where the date or lettering appears doubled, off-center strikes that shift the design noticeably, or repunched mint marks on coins from the Denver and San Francisco mints. These errors are rare and unique. No two are exactly the same, which is why they can dramatically increase a coin's value. Another reason the 1939 wheat penny is so appealing is the story it tells. Imagine this coin being used to buy a loaf of bread, a gallon of gasoline, or a newspaper during a time when the world was standing at a crossroads. Owning a coin like this is like holding a piece of living history, a reminder of how America endured and moved forward in one of the most uncertain decades of the 20th century. And now, we come to the part you've been waiting for, the value. While most 1939 wheat pennies are worth only modest amounts, if you happen to own one in flawless, uncirculated condition, or better yet, one with a dramatic and rare minting error, its value could reach an astonishing $81,000. Yes, you heard that right, $81,000 for a single penny that most people would overlook as just an old copper coin. Just imagine finding one of these treasures tucked away in a family collection or hidden in a coin jar. It would feel like discovering gold in the smallest form possible. So the next time you come across a 1939 wheat penny, don't dismiss it as ordinary. Take a close look at its condition, study the details, and watch for unusual errors. You never know, you might be holding a piece of history worth far more than you ever imagined. Top 3, we're exploring a small but mighty treasure from the World War II era, the United States of America wheat penny from 1942. At first glance, it might look like just another old copper cent, but listen closely because this coin holds secrets of history, rarity, and in certain cases, incredible value. The 1942 wheat penny was struck during one of the most turbulent times in the world. America had just entered World War II, and resources like copper and tin were in high demand for the war effort. Every coin minted during these years carries with it a reflection of the nation's sacrifices and resilience. The Lincoln wheat penny, designed by Victor David Brenner, still displayed Abraham Lincoln on the front and the classic wheat stalks on the reverse. But in 1942, these coins had a significance that went beyond currency. They were symbols of perseverance during wartime. Now, most 1942 pennies were made of copper and zinc, the standard composition of the time. But here, where things get interesting, some experimental strikes were made as the U.S. Mint prepared for changes in coinage materials due to the war. As a result, collectors today hunt for rare off-metal strikes, transitional errors, or even unusual colorations caused by variations in the alloy mix. These small differences make certain 1942 pennies incredibly valuable compared to their common counterparts. Condition is another factor that separates an ordinary penny from a remarkable one. The majority of 1942 wheat pennies saw heavy circulation. After all, 1 cent actually had strong purchasing power at the time. People used them daily for food, newspapers, or household goods. Because of this, coins with scratches, dull surfaces, or heavy wear are extremely common. But finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition, bright red luster, sharp details, and minimal marks is where the real value lies. High-grade examples certified by professional grading services can shock collectors with the prices they command. And let's not forget about mint errors. These are some of the most exciting finds for collectors. Double die obverses where Lincoln's profile or lettering shows a ghost-like doubling, off-center strikes where part of the design is missing, and repunched mint marks from the Denver or San Francisco mints are all varieties that can make a 1942 wheat penny stand out. Each of these errors makes the coin unique, and collectors are always eager to pay more for something truly one of a kind. The story of the 1942 wheat penny is more than just metal and numbers. It's a connection to an era where every American was making sacrifices. Holding one of these coins is like holding a time capsule from the home front of World War II, a reminder of how something so small played a role in daily life during such a monumental moment in history. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the value. While most 1942 wheat pennies are worth only a modest amount, if you happen to own one in flawless, uncirculated condition, or better yet, one with a rare and dramatic error, its value could reach an astounding $79,000. Yes, you heard that right, $79,000 for a single penny that most people would mistake for pocket change. Imagine the excitement of discovering such a treasure tucked away in a family coin jar or resting quietly in an old collection. So, coin enthusiasts never underestimate the power of a single cent. That little wheat penny from 1942 could be far more than just history, it could be life-changing. Be sure to examine your coins carefully, look for signs of rarity, and who knows, you might just stumble upon one of these incredible gems. Top 4, we're going to talk about a small coin with a big story. The United States of America wheat penny from the year 1950. At first glance, this copper coin looks ordinary, just another Lincoln cent that passed through millions of hands. But as you'll soon discover, certain examples of the 1950 wheat penny can be incredibly rare and valuable, and collectors all over the world are constantly searching for these hidden treasures. So sit back, listen carefully, and enjoy this fascinating story. The 1950 wheat penny belongs to the beloved Lincoln Wheat Cent series, designed by Victor David Brenner and first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1950, the coin had already become an American classic, with the iconic portrait of Lincoln on the obverse and the two graceful wheat stalks on the reverse. These wheat ears symbolized America's agricultural strength, and together with Lincoln's image, they made the coin a powerful emblem of the nation's values. Now hear what makes the 1950 issue special. Over 270 million pennies were struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. With such a large mintage, you might think they're all common. And it's true, many of these pennies can still be found in collections and coin jars today. But the real magic lies in their condition, in their mint marks, and most importantly, in their errors. Let's start with condition. Most of the 1950 wheat pennies circulated heavily in the booming post-war economy of the United States. They were used daily for candy, newspapers, groceries, and just about everything else. Because of that, the majority you'll find today are worn, scratched, or dulled from use. But if you come across one in pristine, uncirculated condition with a bright red luster and sharp details, that penny can be worth far more than face value. Collectors pay high premiums for coins that survived the test of time without ever entering circulation. Now let's talk about mint marks. The 1950 pennies were minted in Philadelphia with no mint mark, in Denver with the letter D, and in San Francisco with the letter S. Among these, certain San Francisco strikes in high grades are particularly desirable. But it's not just about where they were made, it's also about how they were made. And this is where errors and varieties enter the story. Error coins are the crown jewels for collectors. For the 1950 wheat penny, there are known examples of repunched mint marks, where the D or S was struck more than once, creating a shadow-like doubling effect. There are also double die obverses and reverses, where the lettering or Lincoln's profile shows dramatic doubling. Off-center strikes, clip planchets, and die cracks are also possible error types. Each of these mistakes makes the coin unique and adds to its desirability. Imagine finding a 1950 wheat penny with a bold double die or a rare repunched mint mark in near-perfect condition. That's the kind of coin that can turn a modest collector's find into a true jackpot. But the story of this penny is not only about rarity, it's also about connection. When you hold a 1950 wheat penny, you're holding a piece of post-war America, a time when the nation was growing, families were thriving, and coins like these were part of everyday life. It's more than copper, it's history in your hand. And now comes the most exciting part. While an ordinary 1950 wheat penny might only be worth a few cents, if you own one with rare errors or in top-notch uncirculated condition, its value can soar to an incredible $77,000. Yes, $77,000 for a single penny. That's the kind of story that keeps collectors searching and coin lovers checking every cent they come across. So, my friends, don't underestimate the humble wheat penny. Take a close look at those old coins in your drawer or tucked away in your family's collection. That one little penny could be worth a fortune. Top 5, we are going to explore one of the last and most fascinating coins of the Wheat Penny series, the United States of America Wheat Penny from the year 1958. At first glance, it may look like just another Lincoln cent, but hidden among these coins are rare treasures that have amazed collectors and sold for astonishing amounts of money. So listen carefully and enjoy this story, because this little coin is far more special than you might think. 1958 wheat penny holds a very important place in numismatic history. This was the final year that the iconic wheat ears appeared on the reverse of the Lincoln cent. After 1958, the design was changed to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959, marking the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Because of this, the 1958 wheat penny is like the closing chapter of a beautiful coinage era that began all the way back in 1909. For collectors, the last year of an era always carries extra charm. Now let's talk about rarity and what makes the 1958 wheat penny so exciting. The Philadelphia and Denver mints struck hundreds of millions of these coins, so yes, most of them are very common. But here, where the story takes a thrilling turn, certain rare errors and varieties from 1958 have shocked the coin world with their extreme value. One of the most famous is the 1958 double die obverse wheat penny. This is one of the rarest and most dramatic double die cents ever discovered. On this variety, the words Liberty and In God We Trust on the obverse are boldly doubled. The doubling is so strong and so visible that even an untrained eye can spot it immediately. Only a handful of these incredible coins are known to exist, making them some of the rarest Lincoln cents ever struck by the U.S. Mint. Imagine the thrill of holding a coin where the lettering is doubled so clearly that it almost looks like it was struck twice. That type of minting error doesn't just happen every day, and when it does, collectors will pay extraordinary amounts of money to own one. Other errors from 1958 also capture attention. There are off-center strikes where Lincoln's portrait is shifted dramatically, clipped planchets where part of the coin's edge is missing, and die cracks that create fascinating raised lines on the surface. Each error is like a fingerprint, unique and one of a kind, which adds even more excitement for collectors. And of course, condition plays a huge role in value. Most 1958 wheat pennies spent decades in circulation, buying candy, newspapers, and household items in post-war America. They became worn, dull, and ordinary. But those that were carefully preserved, never spent, and kept in pristine uncirculated condition with their original red luster intact are the true gems. A brilliant red 1958 wheat penny with strong detail can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars on its own. But when you combine perfect condition with a dramatic error like the doubled die obverse, the result is one of the most legendary and valuable Lincoln cents ever created. Collectors from around the globe dream of adding one of these elusive coins to their collections, and auctions have proven just how valuable they can be. So what does that mean for you? It means that every time you come across a 1958 wheat penny, you should check it very carefully. Look at the lettering, examine the mint mark, and inspect the surfaces. You never know, you could be holding one of the rarest and most valuable pennies in U.S. history. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. While ordinary examples of the 1958 wheat penny might only be worth a few cents, a rare variety like the famous doubled die obverse in top condition has been valued at an incredible $75,000. Yes, $75,000 for a single penny. That is the magic of coin collecting, turning what looks like ordinary change into a life-changing treasure. So my fellow collectors and treasure hunters, never overlook the small coins. Each one carries history, mystery, and sometimes unimaginable value. If you enjoyed this journey into the story of the 1958 wheat penny, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another rare coin story. Thank you for watching, and as always, happy collecting.